just impressed. I am. You're saying like all these nice things about like, hey, good for them. They beat the team virtually nobody outside of Kansas and Missouri wanted to see win. I'm just I'm impressed anytime a professional sports franchise, very much appears to have their stuff together. And I don't think right this second any team in sports, pro sports, feels like they have their stuff together quite like the Eagles do, which is funny because 4 months ago it looked like Nick Sirianni was going to get fired mid-season. They were 2-2 and had just lost to Kirk Cousins, which feels like a cosmic accident. But right now, man, they just look outrageously good. They're about to lose their offensive coordinator to New Orleans to become the new head coach, Kellen Moore. Why anybody doubts that they'll end up just probably upgrading somehow at that spot is beyond me. They probably will.
Well, they screwed it up last time, but then if they screw it up, they'll just fire the guy and probably replace him with someone better.
And I know you, like any good radio host, believes in the following. Localizing it, they are everything currently that the Steelers currently are not.
But I didn't have that feeling watching the game like I did last year. Last year's Super Bowl with the Chiefs and 49ers, I turned the game off when we came in here the following Monday, and I'm like, they just feel like they're playing a different sport than the Steelers.
You didn't have that vibe about the Eagles yesterday? They felt like they were playing a completely foreign sport. That was as dominant a showing against a team that had come in with Kansas City's overall reputation as I have ever seen.
I agree with you on that.
That's not like slaying the dragon. That's like kicking the dragon's ass, then taking its mom out for a date.
Mama dragon.
Right. I mean, that was just like a complete emasculation.
Did diehard Eagles fan Seth the MILF Hunter come in his Eagles overall and Eagles flag just to show us what a big Eagles fan he is and how happy he is, or was he legitimately working here today? I was wondering that the entire time. Donnie, do you have any kind of update on that? He was just hanging out with us in the back. I think he just wanted to be seen as an Eagles fan. That was the vibe.
He's wearing the Kelly Green overalls, or he was wearing the Kelly Green T-shirt with the more like darker forest green overalls,
and he has a giant flag that he just
put in the back. I actually respect it. He's a complete character. Total character.
I don't think he's here for anything work related.
Do you know?
He just showed up to hang out with us and say, "Hey, my team won the Super Bowl. Like, give me my kudos and give me my love." Yeah.
So here's another like interesting thing about Seth. We're at Tom's Watch Bar on Saturday I had an appearance, and Seth was our promotions team member there, and I was like shooting the breeze with Seth. This I just cannot conceptualize, Pony. I don't know when the last time you felt this way about any of your teams was. Maybe, I guess, the Penguins in the 15-16 Cup run because they started to look so dominant for long stretches.
You mean 16-17?
No, the first of the two.
Oh, okay. You mean 2015-2016
season, yeah.
Okay.
Like towards the end of that, I know they had a close call, obviously, against the Lightning, but otherwise they kind of started to look like a dominant team. He says to me on Saturday night, he goes, I just don't know if I'm overconfident, but I kind of expect a blowout tomorrow. I think it's going to be a pretty easy game for the Eagles. And the thought of it, being a fan of a team, playing the Chiefs and saying, I almost feel like I'm too confident. I just think my team's going to destroy them is wild to me. Because I said, yeah, man, I would pull it back a little. I think this is going to be a close game either way. And that was the most lopsided 18-point victory you will ever see.
Right, because there were just cosmetic touchdowns at the end. I want to rewind back to what you said about how you should feel as a Steelers fan. The difference when the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, let's say, and what happened last night was when Kansas City's doing it, you I think, have to feel like they have a GOAT-level quarterback and one of the great quarterbacks of all time, and we're trying to figure out if we want to proceed. Last year, it was with Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph at quarterback.
Yep.
And that doesn't feel like you're playing in the same league when that's the team that's hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. The team that won last night, at least you could squint and say their recipe is the same as the Steelers. The cooks aren't as good. The chef making the surf and turf does not have the same French training, did not go
He's not got any Michelin stars.
Yeah, did not go to some like esoteric erudite like culinary institute, but at least they're trying to do the same things.
But they're really not, though, in this way.
Well, yes, they are. They brought Andy Weidel in from Philadelphia.
Yes, hear me out. They brought Weidel in because he's Howie Roseman's right-hand man. Good start. Get the guy that was the kind of chief operative or whatever to the best GM in the league, which I think Howie Roseman pretty clearly should be recognized as by now. And all they've done is, I think, kneecap Andy Weidel. It's clear. because they're not willing to give up their power structure, which is the head coach still has enormous amounts of sway and agency.
Right.
The owner here is nothing like Jeffrey Lurie, who is in many ways the straw that stirs that drink. He decided to fully deputize Roseman with real power and just keep it that way. He put real strain and scrutiny on Sirianni. It's obvious Sirianni was feeling the heat because he knew if Jeffrey Lurie could fire Doug Peterson not long after a Super Bowl win, he wasn't safe even with an appearance. So you've got an owner that's way different than the owner here. You've got a head coach here who just simply at this point has way too many, way too much power on way too many levers.
So there's great.
The Steelers are, in theory, trying to do it, but in practice, they're not even doing close to what the Eagles do.
So there's much better separation of church and state there, where the GM really controls the roster and the coach more so coaches the team. And
I think that matters.
I agree. That's how Bill Belichick lost his job in New England, and that's why he's out of the NFL and now dating a young woman that's wearing Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl T-shirts. And I saw a joke on Twitter about how Belichick had, well, never mind. I'm not even going to get into it. People can look it up on their own. Either way, the running joke on the Steelers of they want to run the ball and play defense, and that's not what wins anymore, has been debunked by what the Eagles did. The Eagles won a Super Bowl doing that. Now of course they do it much, 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 much better than the Steelers. They have Saquon Barkley at running back, and Jerry Dulack's reporting things like the Steelers want to re-sign Najee Harris. But at least that premise, this thesis that we've debated and torn down so many times, a team has now just shown you that you can do it that way. So, in a way, I bet Rooney and Tomlin feel some validation that their football philosophy is not antiquated or outdated or an expired one that can't work anymore.
Well, that's dangerous then, because they're not nearly as good at doing it.